Hello, hello, hello. It is time for more Steins and of the Gaten. I'm never gonna find a real intro, am I? I'm just gonna like every time I start stream, I'm just gonna keep saying, you guys know about the gate when you Steins the gate or something. Lord. We take it one step at a time though, chat. We take it one step at a time. Oh man. Alright. Maho's eyes were shining like a little girl's. Not many girls would look like that if you brought them to a place like this. I was the one who'd brought her here, but she seemed to have forgotten about me entirely. She's wandering down the narrow corridors where all the computer parts were, as if in a daze. Then she came to a stop in front of one of them. Inside the shop were lots of little plastic bins filled with junk parts of all sizes. They'd been taken off of discarded PCs and appliances. Each of them was obviously dirty, and lots of them were covered in dust. Oh yeah, last time we left off on Steins Gate Zero, we actually did quite a lot yesterday, now that I think about it. We experienced a Christmas party, then we went to a war-torn future. Well, it wasn't really the future though, was it? It was like a month in advance, but it wasn't like 2036 or anything. It was still 2011, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2011. We did that up until we got into the bus to go to America. Then we saw that the Americans had Amadeus Kurisu for some reason. And then we immediately jumped back to the where we were before. And we figured out that Fubuki... Well, we didn't figure it out. We've always known Fubuki had, like, a stronger reading steiner than most. And Okabe explained all that to her. Then we got into a bit of a tussle with Suzuha. Luckily, Daru was there to solve everything before it got out of hand, but yeah. And now we're here. I'm not terribly sure what's going on right now, but we're here now.
Oh.
Okay. Rintaro's like me. He's just like, I don't even know what's going on, man. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that there's a lot of tech stuff here, because Akihabara, before it got moified by Ferris, was known for, like, the tech stuff. Watching the ecstasy on Maho's face creeped me out a little. Yeah, that's how I feel every time I look at Daru. Kurisu spoke from inside my phone. Maho had said she wanted to go out with Kurisu today. Ah, I see. And so I ended up going on a strange date with two girls at once. Date. This might be another test of Amadeus' capabilities.
俺もここは何度か来たことがあるが、あんな顔してパーツをめでる人間にはこれまで一人しかお目にかかったことがない。
And you're looking at her.
わかった。橋田さんのことでしょ。
No.
ああ。
No, he wasn't.
さすがにあの人と同類扱いするのは先輩がかわいそうよ。
Or actually, maybe he was legitimately talking about Daru. But yeah, feels bad, Maho.
あんたの話を聞く限りだと、橋田さんってとんでもない変態だから。
Yeah.
そうだな。ヒヤジョさんに失礼だった。
Oh, uh-oh. It was early afternoon on a Sunday. There was a reason I'd come with Maho to the computer parts shop. Dr. Luskin and Maho were heading back to America in a few days. She was leaving soon, so she wanted me to show her around Akihabara like I'd promised. That's what her message had said. So we met in front of the station in the morning, and I asked her where she wanted to go. This was the result. By the way, our first stop was Yodobashi, and our second, Soft Map. That's a real place. It's just called Soft Map. I'd already taken her to a lot of used PC and retro PC shops tucked away in tiny alleys.
ヒアジョーさんはこういうパーツが好きなのか？
パーツというか組み立てるものが好きなのね。子供の頃は日本製のプラスティックモデルをよく作ったわ。
Hey, she was a Lego kid. I can respect it. I had Bionicles. Basically the same thing. Plastic model, a kit made from plastic parts, but put together by following them up. A kit made from plastic parts, put together by following a manual. Yeah.
ゲルマニウムラジオなんかも組み立てた口ですか？
What? Germanium radio. A radio that uses a germanium diode as a rectifier and requires no power supply. This term can also refer to the kits used to build them. Since they're simple enough for anyone to build, they're a common choice for elementary school summer break projects. Nice.
ハンダ付けでよく火傷をしたものよ。
Soldering? I think that says soldering. Solder, a mixture comprised mostly of lead and tin that is used to join metal components together. Like I said before, I'm starting to see why this game has more tips than the OG Steins Gate, because like when they throw tips out at you, they throw like 10 at a time.
私もです。
みんな同じなのね。
It's alright, Rensaro. It's alright. Probably not everybody. Actually, I'd assume that it was a minority of people who soldered in their homes growing up.
ずっと見ていたい。どうして私もっと早くここに来なかったのかしら。
Oh. It felt like she was never going to leave unless I dragged her out. I finally managed to succeed in getting her away from the part shop by telling her it was time to eat. That is a good way to persuade people. I will say that. I wonder if... Oh wait, no. We're already on the call with Kurisu. I don't know why that... Bro, my brain is rotting. I was gonna say, I wonder what would happen if we pulled up Kurisu. I'm like, bro, we've been talking to Kurisu while we've talking to Maho. Come on, man. Keep up with the program. We went out to the main road. This area was close to the station, so it was especially crowded. Thanks to the crowds of people waiting to cross the street, you couldn't even walk in a straight line. Now then, where to eat? My first idea was make Queen Neon squared, but after the way she reacted last time, it was probably best to avoid it. Still, Sampo wasn't a good choice for someone new to Akihabara. Gansen? Or maybe Kichinjiro? Go-Go curry would work too. As I stood there thinking...
Oh.
Maho stopped moving in front of the arcade directly ahead of us. Ooh. You want to be a bit of a gamer? We can game. We can epically game. Evidently, she was looking at the crane games on the first floor.
ちょっとだけ覗いてみてもいいかしら。
Heck yeah. I nodded. Maho walked up to the crane game and pressed her face against the glass like a little kid. Inside the glass were characters from @channel memes of all different sizes. Maybe Maho was a secret @channeler like Kurisu. You know, I wouldn't doubt it. If she's that good of a friend with Kurisu, I would not doubt it. They were pretty close, so it was possible. I leaned over to Maho and whispered a magic spell into her ear. Oh, man. I forgot what that means. Old @channel slang, it started on the programming board as a shortening of null pointer, and as of now has no meaning whatsoever. Whenever someone says it, it's tradition for someone to respond, Gah! Well, let's see how she responds.
Hi.
Alright, never mind. I just confused her.
何そのぬっていうのは。
Alright. Or maybe she's acting. Maybe she's like, dang, I can't out myself. Maybe it really was just Karisu.
なんでもない。忘れてくれ。
お
Amadeus Karisu knows that. Karisu was glaring cold daggers at me from inside the smartphone, but I decided to ignore it.
ヒアジョさん、そのぬいぐるみ欲しいのか？
ええ、かわいいじゃない。ねえクリス。
先輩？
何？どうして慌てているの？
なんでもないです。
ちょっと意外だな。さっきパーツが好きって言ってたから、感性としては男に近いのかもって思ってた。
岡部、デリカシーないわね、あんたは。
That's what I was about to say, dude. Like, you can like both things. It's not a crime.
もっとうまいこと言いなさいよ。ギャップが素敵だとかなんとか。
I'd say that's more cheesy than romantic, but yeah.
あ、すまない。
いいわよ別に。実はね、このぬいぐるみクリスがベッドルームに置いていたのよ。
お？
そうなのか？
先輩
もしかして通販か何かでアメリカまで取り寄せてたのか？
別にどうだっていいでしょ。
さすが隠れアットチャンネラーだな。
どう？
何よ、アットチャンネラーって聞いたことない。
Yeah, that's definitely a lie.
ヌルポ。
Got her. Even as part of Amadeus, she hadn't changed a bit.
ヒアジョさん、クリスはこれがなんていうキャラなのか教えてくれたか？
いいえ、何度か聞いてみたけど永遠とはぐらかされたわ。
だろうな。
だからずっと気になっていたのよ。岡部さんは知っているの？
I'd bet he does.
まあ。
岡部。
A chill ran down my spine as I heard the angry voice from the smartphone.
俺も知らないんだ。
そう。
Yeah, that's a lie. Sheesh. I defended your honor, Carissa. You better be grateful.
ちょっと挑戦していいかしら。
Maho took her wallet out of her pocket and put a 100 yen coin into the machine.
このアームを左右と前後に操作してぬいぐるみをつかめばいいのね。
Essentially, yes. But it's a cheat. It's a cheat. You won't actually get anything unless you're super good, like me, like Mochi, the crane machine master.
もしかして初めてなのか？
真帆先輩はレースゲームしかやらないですもんね。
Racing games? I mean, I don't judge, but racing games? I mean, a Mario Kart, maybe, yeah? Or if it's something like Gran Turismo, I don't know about that.
そういうこと。
Cute CG. Maho nodded and pushed the control button, managing to move the arm directly over her target. She smiled, satisfied. I'll bet you $10 she doesn't get it.
簡単なものね。あとはアームが降りて勝手に掴んでくれるんでしょ？
It's something like that, yeah.
あ、いや、普通はそうなんだが。
ん？
The arm went straight for the doll, but the angle was slightly off, and it didn't grab it right.
おかしいわ。どういうことなの？
Yeah, that's on purpose, Maho. That's what happens your first time. Maho gave it several more tries, but didn't seem to get the hang of it. Oh, I'll get one for her, Okabe. Come on now. She groaned and took her last 300 yen to the back of the arcade. She walked over to a game with a red and white two-tone Formula 1 car on the side of the cabinet. She slid inside, still angry. I remembered that one was a CG racing game based off of real circuits.
Okabe. Okabe.
なんだ？
ここは男らしさを見せるところよ。
Show your manliness. I don't know if winning the claw machine is a show of manliness, but we'll go with that.
男らしさ？
先輩の代わりにあんたがぬいぐるみを手に入れなさいっていうこと。
ああ、なるほど。
And then give it to Maho, was what she was trying to say. Manliness aside, after seeing how badly she wanted it, I did want to try and help her. I took some coins out of my pocket and checked how much money I was carrying. Okay, it's been a while, but let's try this.
とはいえ、俺もこういうゲームは得意じゃないんだが。
Even so, I was sure I could do better than Maho. We'll see. May as well give it a try. Huh? Nope. Nope. Can we get it this time? Surely this time. Oh, no. Okay, no. Almost, but not quite. This time for sure. Oh, never mind. Hey, Golden. And so, after trying several times... Oh, he did get it. Oh, wow. Whether it was luck or skill, I managed to get the stuffed animal easier than I'd expected.
Yes.
Nice.
I stuffed it into a bag and went to the racing game Maho was playing. For some reason, there was a crowd of about 10 people around it, and she's probably killing it. If that's the only thing she plays, that wouldn't surprise me.
あの子何者だよ。俺に聞くなって。
小学生か？ありえないテクだぞ。
Is she in elementary school?
これレコード出るんじゃね？
The crowd was whispering to one another. All of them seemed to be amazed. I made my way into the crowd and looked at the screen. The game Maho was playing was one of those where you had to clear each stage in a set time, or else it'd be game over. With each race, the course got more and more difficult. Okay. And she was placing first every time with ease. As the crowd watched in awe, she finally made it to the end of the last stage, well ahead of the other racers. And she'd set a new record. Hell yeah. She had a satisfied smile on her face as she looked at the flashy "Congratulations" graphic on the ending screen. Then she noticed the crowd around her and her body jerked.
おめでとうございます。当店のベストレコードです。
An arcade employee walked over to Maho and started to clap. Then the crowd started to clap as well.
え？あ、
Maho's face went beet red. I should probably help her. I pushed my way through the crowd and grabbed her hand to pull her up.
行こう。
はい。
I'd never seen her this obedient before. We made our way through the hustle and bustle and finally got out of the arcade. Maho sighed in relief.
うかつだったわ。
何が？
つい熱くなってしまって本気を出してしまったの。
これのせいか？
I handed her the bag with my prize in it.
何？
She opened the bag and took out the stuffed animal.
これ取れたの？
You know what? I don't know what I was expecting when I pulled up my phone. I didn't expect to just see Kurisu blink staring at me.
運が良くてね。君にプレゼントするよ。
いいの？
Yeah.
俺が持ってても仕方ない。
そう？じゃあ遠慮なくいただくわ。
Ah, yeah, true, Golden. I mean, bracket Kurisu bracket. I'm not saying that every time I refer to Amadeus, man. I'm just saying Kurisu. Maho hugged the doll tight to her chest with the innocent smile of a child. Seeing how happy she was made me happy too.
クリスが亡くなった後ね、お母さんから形見をいろいろともらったわ。けどこれはクリスがとても可愛がっていたからってお母さん自分のベッドルームに飾っていたのよ。
Oh. If you didn't know it was from an At Channel meme, it was actually pretty cute. I could see her keeping it as a memory of her daughter.
だけどクリスの実家がね、ああいうことになってぬいぐるみも燃えてしまったと思うの、きっと。
Oh.
先輩。
だからこれはアメリカのお母さんにプレゼントしていいかしら。
She's a Redditor. I think it's more like she's a 4chaner. They're parroting 4chan with that channel.
もちろん。喜んでもらえるなら、それが一番いい。
She's even worse! Oh, man.
ありがとう。
Yeah, but Kreese is not like other 4chaners. I'm not like other 4chaners. I'm a scientist. Oh, man. No.
さてと、次はどうする？他に見てみたいところはあるか？と言っても、アニメやゲームのショップなんかは興味ないよな。
I'm not like the other 4chaners. Oh,
クリス、悪いけどしばらく岡部さんと二人きりにしてくれる？
Oh?
先輩、ついに自分の気持ちに素直になることにしたんですね。
No.
岡部、ちゃんとしなさいよ。
はあ？
先輩、頑張って。それじゃ。
ヒヤジョーさん？
行きたい場所もう一つあるんだけれど。
そうか。どこだ？
Is it someplace she didn't want Kurisu knowing about?
あそこよ。わかるでしょ。
The smile was gone from Maho's face. She looked like she'd come to some kind of decision. And then I realized where she wanted to go.
ラジカンに連れて行って。
Ooh. I don't know about that one. The radio building. She wanted me to take her there. Don't! I swear to God. Do not show the CG of Kurisu getting stabbed again. I understood immediately. Because that was where Kurisu Makise had died. I'd gone up to the roof several times since then. The time machine was there, and Suzuha and Daru would go up once in a while to do the maintenance. Just a few days ago, Suzuha had called me out there and pointed a gun in my face. But even so, I'd never been to that storeroom on the 8th floor where it had happened. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Just remembering what happened was enough to cause a severe flashback. There's no way I could visit the site of her death.
大丈夫。ずいぶん顔色が悪いけれど。クリスのこと思い出してしまうの？
そうだろうな。
辛いならついてこなくてもいいわ。私一人で行くから。
But her face was colorless. Going there had to be hard on her too. But even so, she was trying to come to grips with Kurisu's death. I wanted to help her remember our friend. The radio building was going to be renovated. There wasn't a lot of time.
いや、一緒に行くよ。
Half of the shops had already been moved to another building to make way for the renovation. But many of the shops on the 7th floor were still open. Oh, the Upa shop. Oh. Why do you always have to show this CG? 6 months ago on July 28th, I killed Kurisu on the floor just above where I was standing. With my own hands.
ここなの？
いや、事件があったのはこの上の階だと聞いている。
I wasn't supposed to have been at the scene of Kurisu's death. I'd already asked Mayuri and Daru not to tell anyone.
上には何が？
イベント会場と、あとは倉庫とかになってる。
行ってみてもいいのかしら？
今は立ち入り禁止のはず。
But the rope that always blocked off the way to the 8th floor wasn't there today. I could hear loud voices and laughter from above. Since it was a day off, there must have been some kind of event going on upstairs.
大丈夫そうね。
Maho headed up the stairs first. I slowly dragged myself up the stairs. We passed by the event hall and into the back. It looked like there was no one around. Nothing had changed in 6 months.
ここだ。
Oh. There were no lights on, and the place seemed dark and lonely. This time, the storeroom was locked.
そう。こんな場所で。
Yeah. I could see her lips trembling as she whispered. It seemed strange. This was the place where Kurisu had died, covered in blood, and yet, nearby, the rest of the world continued on like it didn't care. And now, I'd come back even though this was where the one I had loved died.
もどかしいわ。私は物理学者ではないから、相対性理論のことを詳細に理解しているわけではないけれど、時間と空間が同列だというのなら、なぜ空間と同じように時間も容易に移動できないのかしらね。今私たちは空間的にはクリスの死と同じ軸上にいるのよ。なのに時間軸がほんの少しずれているというだけで手出しすることすら叶わない。あなた、この前クリスに、アマデウスの方だけど、面白い質問をしたわよね。タイムマシンは作れるかどうかって。
ああ。
ぜひ研究してみてほしいわ。真っ先に私が友人テストに名乗り出るから。
Oh, man. That's the one thing he didn't want to hear. I couldn't tell from the tone of her voice if she was serious or joking. She laughed, sadly. Time machines are real, you know. And there's one right above us. What would she do if I told her that? Would she blame me for giving up on saving Kurisu? And say she'd go back to the past herself?
岡部さん、クリスが亡くなった時の状況について教えてくれない？
I think that's a bit much.
私、詳しくは知らないの。
俺だってろくに知らないよ。前にそう話さなかったか？
でもアメリカにいた私よりは詳しいでしょ。クリスはどうしてこんなところに来たのかしら。クリスが死んだ時、すぐそこのイベントホールでは今日みたいにイベントが行われていたそうね。
Could hear the occasional sounds of laughter coming from the event hall.
中鉢博士、去年の夏ニュースになった。ロシアに亡命してタイムマシンに関する論文を書いたって。その論文の内容はそれはひどいものだったらしいけれど、ただそれでピンときたのよ。アメリカのクリスの家に放火した連中もロシア語を話していた。これ偶然かしら。私は何らかの関連性があると思う。だから中鉢博士について調べようと思ったんだけど、不思議なことに驚くほど情報がないのよ。ネットで検索しても本名すら出てこない。
Gives Rentaro paper bag, breathe, man. It's hard. You've got to think about all that Rentaro's been through. It's hard. Doing stuff like that's not easy, man.
中鉢博士について言及しているブログやサイトを見に行ってもほとんどは閉鎖してるわ。しかもこの半年ほどで立て続けに。ねえ、一体クリスの周りで何が起きていたの？もしかして今もまだそれは続いているの？あなたは何を隠しているの？
Her eyes were pure and sought the truth. Kurisu used to get that exact same look in her eyes all the time. But
好奇心で足を突っ込まない方がいい。俺はもうたくさんだ。
今さらだわ。私は片足を突っ込んでしまっているのよ。それに考えてしまうのよ。この前襲われたのももしかすると私のせいじゃないかって。
君のせい？狙われる理由があるのか？
私は。
And then she paused for a moment.
私はクリスの遺産を持っている。
You know, now I can kind of see why you'd want to play this in an optimal order. Because this was just kind of common knowledge in the route I did on my first, like, ending. So, I guess this was supposed to be like a big plot twist. But, yeah. Belongings? Some of Kurisu's belongings? What did she mean? Mamo had said that after Kurisu died, she'd gone to her home in America and received some of her belongings from her mom. Was she saying now that the attack was because of that? My mind began to race. Russia. Where Dr. Nakabachi had sought asylum. The people who attacked Kurisu's home spoke Russian. And just a few days ago, the Russians, probably, had experimented with changing the past. Suzuha had said that World War III would be set off by the time machine. The time machine. Nakabachi's paper? The paper he'd written about the time machine. The cause of the Third World War. A miraculous, nightmarish paper which would cause the deaths of 5.7 billion people. The time machine he'd discussed at his press conference was a ripoff of John Titor's. But the one in his paper was different. I'd never imagined to read it, though. Managed to read it, though. But my guess was that Kurisu had showed him the original that she'd written on July 28th, and his paper was an inferior copy. Kurisu had written down instructions for making a time machine. I shuddered. I quickly booted up the Rhine program on my smartphone. I paged through my chat logs. That hard drive in that laptop contained the data for the original version of Nakabachi's paper. Maybe Kurisu's paper.
ダールのところに持ち込まれたクリスのノート PC とハードディスク。まさか あれの解析を依頼したのは。
Yeah, it was Maho. I looked at Maho. She looked back at me without smiling. And she nodded.
ええ、私よ。
From Maho's perspective, there were too many things about Kreese's death that didn't make sense. Maybe that was why she decided to look into why Kreese was killed. Of course, she'd assumed there were hints hidden inside her laptop and hard drive. But if my hypothesis was right, that laptop was too dangerous to be allowed to exist. It was Pandora's box, with the power to unleash the Third World War.
どうして隠していた？
最初はあなたと橋田さんの関係を知らなかった。橋田さんに頼んだのは本当に偶然よ。そしてあなたはクリスのことについて何か隠しているように思えた。そんなあなたに正直に全て話せるわけないでしょう。信用していないというわけではないのだけど、クリスのことについては慎重になった方がいいと思って。
ああ、それについては正解だよ。アマデウスのテスターになることを反対しなかったのもそういう打算があってのことか。
打算なんて言わないで。
Yeah, I think you're getting a little over-aggressive here, Okabe.
私はただクリスの友達であるあなたのことをもっと知りたかった。
クリスの秘密を手に入れるために。
あの子のことをもっと知りたかったのよ。
She glared right back as if challenging me.
ダルはもう解析したのか？
まだよ。だからアメリカに帰る前に最後にもう一度あなたと話をしようと思ったの。
So that's why she'd brought me here. I need to call Daru right now. Hold on. I think we need to save right here.
Hey, もしもーし。
今ラボにいるか？
いや、
じゃあどこにいる？
家で絶賛エロゲ中。どうかしたん？
I never thought he'd just come out and say it. Jesus.
お前の裏のバイトの件で話がしたい。
あ、あれか。なんかマキセ氏の情報を思い出した？
ああ。
Of course, that was a lie. He could be in danger if I didn't get that laptop back right now. I glanced over at Maho.
じゃあさ、LINE で送ってもらえるかな？
直接会って話をしよう。ラボで合流できないか？
今手が離せないから夕方でもいい？
エロゲなんて後でいくらでもできるだろう。
さあせん、家でエロゲしてるってのは嘘。実は今バイト中で手が離せないんだよね。
バイト?
Well, I was lying to him too, so I didn't really have room to talk.
じゃあ本当はどこにいる？手が離せないならこっちから行く。とにかく今すぐに話したい。
あんまオカリンには教えたくなかったんだけどな。やばげな仕事も多いから。まあいいや、わかった。これから言うところに来てよ。
The location he gave me was still in Akihabara. It was less than 5 minutes away. Down an alley, a few turns off Main Strip, all the hustle and bustle of the crowd completely disappears. We were on the 7th floor of an old mixed-use building. We were in Akihabara at the center of Tokyo, in the middle of the day on Sunday, and still the alleyway we'd come in seemed lonely and abandoned. There, we found the shop Daru had told us about. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. There was a cute anime-style sign on the steel door that read, "Cosplay Media at Akihabara. We're open, come on in." Jesus. I'm out shopping with Luca. Do you want to come join us, Okabe? Oh my god. Where are you? Right now, we're in Ikebukuro. Ah, shit. Clicked off. I'm in Akihabara. I see. Too bad. Head straight home when you're done shopping. Why? Because I say so? Rintaro really said, "I am God King Emperor, you will listen to my demands." I've got a bad feeling. A premonition? What happened? Oh, no, I mean the weather. I think it might rain. The skies are clear here. Not a cloud in the sky! It's just my intuition. Anyway, just head straight home after you're done shopping. Okay, got it. Understood. Nice. The store was jammed full of cosplay outfits. The wall near the entrance held the new arrivals corner and popular cosplay sections, as well as cosplay wigs, ribbons, jewelry, and props. The other wall held the used outfit section and a shoe section stocked with socks, school shoes, heels, and boots. Even further back, I could see rows of school swimsuits and competition swimming outfits. It looked like the old place sold mainly to girls, but this clearly wasn't a location where women would feel comfortable. The other tenants in the building were all shady shops with names like Drops of the Spirit God Inc., Space Radio Receiver Sales, and Flower Petal Video Project.
君はここには来たことが？
いいえ、前に会った時は別の雑居ビルだったから、同じような怪しいお店だったけれど。
そうか。
Jesus. I felt like I'd seen Daru's dark side. Brother, he is all dark side. He doesn't have a good side to him. What do you mean? The shop was completely silent. There were no customers other than us. Hey, Leah. How are you? Good to see you. Go follow Leah, because I said so. And because she's awesome. And, no problem. No problem. I hope the work goes well. And don't let us distract you. I wouldn't want that to happen. Did you want to continue this Friday, or rest yourself for your foot, by the way? I'll have to see if I'm able to, like, make it to my computer on Wednesday. Is it okay if I update you with that on Wednesday? I know it's a bit late. It's okay if you need rest. It's just I don't know until, like, the surgery actually happens. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, yeah, no problem. Okay, I'll update you on Wednesday, and I'll see if I can actually, like, hop over to my computer to stream and stuff. let me know. I will let you know by Wednesday. Also, hey Ruben, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Everyone's hopping in now. Alright, don't push yourself. I won't. If I really can't make it to the computer, I'll just tell you we'll have to cancel this week. But we'll see. We'll see. Good. Yeah. There were no customers other than us. There was a thin man with long hair at the counter who looked like he worked there, but he didn't even raise his head up from the magazine when we came in. To be honest, ever since I'd entered, I'd worried that someone would think I was up to something illegal. Doing well. Hope all goes with the surgery. Thanks, man. Yeah, I do too. I'll probably be all right, but it's just if I have to be in a situation where I can't make it to the computer, I'll let y'all know. Although I should be able to. But yeah. They've told me that it's not like a big surgery or any, like, where many things could go wrong. It's literally just a follow-up surgery from when they fixed my foot from when it was broken. They're just getting that metal plate out of there, and that's all. The surgery itself shouldn't last longer than, like, 1 to 2 hours. So, I'm not gonna be dying or anything. Y'all guys don't have to worry about that, but yeah. It's just, I won't be able to stand on my foot for, like, about 6 weeks. Because, you know, don't want, like, to put the weight on it and then it starts bleeding and all that good stuff. And just being careful, yeah. Nice. Yeah. And, anyways. I don't know if you were here when I said it, Ruben, but since I did the first playthrough legit, like, the first thing, like, I've got my first experience out of the way, I did get a spoiler-free guide for the other routes and the optimal order as well. Just because, you know, like, it just helps. It's more efficient. I don't think it's that cheap. It's more efficient, you know, because we were always gonna go through all the other routes anyways, and it's a way to get it done, like, faster. You know what I mean? Oh, solid. Sounds good. Yeah. So right now, we are trying to go for the GS route. All the endings are abbreviated, so it's not, like, spoiling it for me. But yeah, we're going for the GS route, essentially. It turns out the route that I had done was supposed to have been, like, the route I was supposed to do in, like, it was supposed to be, like, my third ending, but, you know, I was just too good. I was too good. I was too nasty with it. My choices were too broken. Nerf Mochi, he's too good at visual novels. Oh, God. To be honest, ever since I'd entered, I'd worried that someone would think I was up to something illegal. Anybody who saw me would think I was a pervert taking him. I'm not even gonna read that. Oh my god.
Oi, Ocarine, Gucci.
Daru appeared from the back of the shop. There had been no sign of him a second ago.
つうか、マホタンも一緒だったんだね。
Yeah, that surprised me that we actually brought Maho with us.
そのマホタンというのやめてくれないかしら。
なんで？かわいいじゃん。
It's also demeaning.
バカにされている気分だわ。
そんなことよりダル、お前どこから出てきた？
From the shadows, where he lays dormant until it is his time to say something downright heinous again. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys are like fighting game fans, but any of y'all excited for Mortal Kombat 1? I saw the trailer for that a bit ago, and that shit looks amazing! I've always been a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see the direction it takes, because with the way the trailer sounded, it's like you're going to be making, like, your own choices. Like, your own choices in the story or the game or something to, like, where it actually, like, affects what you do. Like, because I've seen that, NetherRealm Studios has been trying to, trying to experiment with this idea of like choosing your destiny, because at the end of Injustice 2, you could pick like a good or a bad ending at the end, like, or hero or villain ending, I should say. At the end of the Aftermath DLC for Mortal Kombat 11, you could also choose a good or a villain ending. So I think they're actually trying to like take it in a further direction with this, to where like you could, because like the way the trailer words it is like you could choose to like be in like peace and stuff like that, or you could choose to like be in like bloody war and all that. So I wonder if there's actually going to be like a choice-based system, like a branching story path, like a visual novel, to where like you can choose to like do harm to like villagers or maybe something like that. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but it sounds interesting, right? Anyways, let me catch up on chat. I was talking way too long. Yeah, the PR route you ended up with is like one of the two main routes that leads to the true ending. What's Mortal Kombat? I'm a fan of Mortal Wombat. True. Mortal Kombat. With me, I haven't touched it since PS1. Oh, man. I like the new games. The story in MKX and MK11 I was not a fan of, though. The story in those games was pretty bad. But, the gameplay is still fun as ever. Like, actually playing the game is still fun. Nothing could beat those original games. True. Mortal Kombat visual novel style? Intriguing, yeah. I mean, it'll still obviously have, like, the fighting game gameplay, but I'm, like, wondering if it'll have, like, branching paths like a visual novel. Like, your choices, like, actually affect stuff in the story. Like, I'm curious, honestly. It's just from the way they worded it. But yeah. We're playing Steins Gate, so let's get back to that, probably. I'm so bad about getting off track, but sometimes I just, like, there's stuff that I'm passionate about that I see pop up. I'm like, I want to talk about that for a little bit. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Wonder why it took them so long to do that. I don't know. But, I mean, this is all, like, me theorizing and stuff. Like, it could just still be another simple Mortal Kombat game with nothing, like, innovative, but you know, I like to theorize. I like to think about the things that will be in new games. The man at the counter hadn't said anything, which meant they knew he was here. Daru headed to the back of the store. One of the rows of hanger racks holding idol cosplay outfits was pulled forward, and behind it I could see a curtain. Past the curtain was a tiny space that led to a door marked staff only. If the hanger rack hadn't been moved, I'd have no idea this was here. So we at this moment, Daru and his secret hobby. It can't be worse than what he says publicly, you know what I mean, Ruben? Like, it can't be worse than that. Daru's already aired out all of his dirty laundry, like... yeah. Well, we'll see. If the hanger rack hadn't been moved, I'd have no idea this was here. Brother, clean up this pigsty! Jesus! Oh my god. It's not as bad as Maho's room. Maho's room was pretty bad. Maho's room was pretty effing bad. But Jesus, like, come on, man. Have some decency. What is this? Boy, what the hell? This gives gamers a bad name. Like, yeah, come on, man. Like, some organization, man. Come on. Also, don't think I don't see those figurines. And also, these DVDs that I'm sure are all age appropriate. Oh, man. Come on. Behind the door was a cramped office. I'll never understand why, like, some gamers or, like, big streamers have to have 17 monitors. I know there's only like 6 here. But what all are you needing to keep up with, brother? Are you playing 7 different games? Like, why do you need 6 monitors? Like, oh man. Jesus. 2 should suffice. I don't even know if you'd need 2. I mean, like, what's wrong with just having 1 monitor? I mean, I guess if you're, like, just trying to multitask, 2 could be beneficial, but honestly, just the 1, I feel like that'd be enough. Behind the door was a cramped office. Well, no, the room itself may have been pretty big, but the darkness made it feel very cramped. It was honestly hard to breathe. There were 4 desks in the center, surrounded by metal racks. The desk and floor were piled high with all the manner of computers and peripherals. So we trying to crack open Karisu's laptop, right? Yep. That's basically where we've gotten to at this point, I believe. Also, I think Okabe's relationship with Maho is being kind of strained right now. Because of the complicated situation of her not telling Okabe that she asked Daru to crack open the laptop. So they're going through a bit of drama with that right now as well. There were boxes and bags littered everywhere. I couldn't tell if they were trash or not. Give me 3, 4 at most. 1 to play, 1 to chat, 1 to watch another stream for support. Again, like you can do that all on 1 monitor. It just seems like an unnecessary like expenditure. To me, at least. I don't know. There were boxes and bags littered everywhere. I couldn't tell if they were trash or not. Yeah, Okabe is trying so effing hard to stop anyone from doing anything. Yeah. There were towers of magazines, games, plastic models, and figure boxes. And the desk was covered in garbage, just like the one at the lab. It was too dark to tell, but I was sure the figures he had on display were all covered in dust. And what did he need 6 monitors for anyway? See Okabe gets it. Each of them displayed an image of the store. Evidently, it was footage from a security camera. Given the size of the store and the lack of customers, even 3 cameras would have been too many.
ま、適当に座って。
座れる場所なんてないぞ。
今スペース作るよ。
Daru kicked aside the boxes on the floor to make room, then set down 2 folding chairs. I mean, I get where he's coming from, because if they do anything to change the world line, he's the one who has to deal with it alone, but still. Yeah, but still, man, you gotta keep trying. You gotta keep trying. But I mean, the Okabe we know. He never stops trying. He's a strong mother effort, man. We just gotta get him there. As the player, we just gotta get him there. We gotta give him that push forward.
お前、この店とはどういう関係なんだ?
Is that a 7TY screen? I have no idea what that means.
バイトリーダーみたいなもんかな。結構こういうアングラな店のバイト掛け持ちしてるんだよね。
The leader of us part-timers. Above a screen on the right, well, Daru's taking up the whole screen, so I can't see what you mean right now. Is that a 7th screen? Oh, a 7th screen. I didn't see 7. If Okabe's given up, that doesn't give him the right to stop others from doing what they can. Exactly, yeah. I agree.
でさ、たまに事務所を個人的に使わせてもらってるわけ。
裏のバイトのためにか?
I mean, it got to the point where Suzaha had to, like, threaten him. Like, Suzaha was getting desperate since they were thinking that Russia was doing, like, time travel experiments to where he was, like, he went to a timeline and then went back because they think Russia was experimenting, and Suzawa's like, we're running the F out of time. Like, I gotta get Okabe to, like, wake up and do this time travel, or we're doomed. Like, she, like, straight up pointed a gun at my man. Like, he's getting people to act desperately at this point, man. In between the 3 plushies, above the 4th screen on the right. I don't see what you're talking about.
そういうこと。
Maybe there was a lot more to Dagger than I thought.
ここにあるものは全部お前の私物か？
いや、他のバイトのみんなとの共有財産的なやつ。さすがにこんなにたくさん買えるほどお金持ってないし。
Yeah, no matter what, I can always understand where Suzaha comes from. Yeah. I mean, she's just trying to get crap fixed.
Oh.
Or so he said, but who knew if that was true?
Huh?
Okay. I think... I think this is where the choice is. That puts us on GS route. I think, according to the guide at least. I have to answer this call. I think so.
なんだ?
I mean, I very well could be wrong, but we'll see.
あんたまだ真帆先輩と一緒よね。
Yes.
ああ、一緒だが。
どうかしたの？
レスキネン教授からたった今聞いたんですが。
Hmm?
和光市のオフィスが何者かに荒らされたって。
Oh. That's like what happened in PR route, right?
え？
あと、真帆先輩のホテルからも連絡が来て、そっちも誰かに侵入されたみたいです。
Yeah.
なんですって？
Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is when they start writing some stuff because they're trying to find the laptop and the hard drive.
すぐにレスキネン教授からも連絡があるはずですけど、少しでも早く知らせた方がいいと思って。
We already went through one route where Okabe woke up, so there may be hope for this world line. You know, from the way Morsei was like... from the way Morsei was like, kind of like depressedly saying, oh, you're going on this route. Something tells me that's Cope. We'll see, though, we'll see.
ありがとう、クリス。
Yeah.
ヒアジョーさんのことは俺とダルで見てるから大丈夫だ。
I mean, we would have had to see this route anyways. Like, we're doing... When we do vision novels, we like to do all the routes, so, like... If it's depressing or sad, that's just something we gotta deal with.
そうね。頼むわ。それじゃ。
We shan't give up, exactly. And I think that was the choice that needed to put me on the GS route. I'm pretty sure, at least. Was to answer that call. Maho looked down and bit her lip.
懸念していたことが現実になったな。狙いは間違いなくクリスのノート PC とハードディスクだ。
We will reach Steins Gate someday. Indeed. I mean, technically we already have in the first game, but yeah. Technically.
え、マジで？
場所を変えた方がいいかもしれない。
ここは安全だと思うけど。
なんとなく嫌な予感がするんだ。勘みたいなものだ。
わかったお。
それでノート PC とハードディスクはどこに？
Daru sighed and grabbed a locked fire-resistant case off one of the racks. He opened it. Is that where he hid it? The laptop was a deep red Japanese model with a 12-inch LCD screen. That's pretty aesthetic. that's pretty aesthetic. The hard drive was American, from a brand known for equipping its drives with a shock-resistant rubber case.
それを持って急いで出よう。
Both Maho and Daru nodded silently. Kurisu with peak equipment, I see. Oh, yeah. As soon as we left the building, I could see a car coming down the empty alleyway. It was a big American RV. We quickly hid ourselves in the shadow of another building. My intuition was right. The RV stopped in front of the building we'd just left. 3 men came out. None of them were Japanese. Uh-oh. They were all dressed in black suits, almost like MIBs. Men in black? Question mark? Yeah! Men in Black, an American urban legend. It is said that they are secret government agents who appear without warning before UFO witnesses or researchers to put a stop to their activities. It is not known whether any such secret agency actually exists. The name comes from the fact that they dress all in black and wear black sunglasses. A movie of the same name, based loosely on the urban legend, helped popularize the idea. Yeah, honestly, I would not know what that is if they had, Oh, no, that's a calendar, Golden. You probably couldn't see it because where you got your screen, like, smallified, but that's a calendar. But yeah, I don't think I knew that Men in Black was like a real thing. Well, it's probably not a real thing. But without the movie, honestly. Whatever they weren't Akihabara tourists.
間一髪だったな。
Maho went pale when she saw the men go into the building. She seemed to be shaking a little too.
こんなのまるで映画の世界だわ。とても現実とは思えない。
Oof.
でもさ、あの連中は店の情報どうやって入手したんだろう。
Someone's got a tracker on them or something.
誰がヘマしたんじゃないのか。
僕を誰だと思ってる？
スーパーハッカーだろ。
ハッカーな。足はつかないように注意してるっつうの。
または俺とヒアジョーさんが尾行されてた可能性もあるが。
I'm not sure.
怖いこと言わないでよ。
Something that both Higurashi and Steins Gate deal with is the despair of giving up in an endless loop of tragic endings. And in that sense, they are very much alike, but I think the big difference between them is just the setting. I guess, like, the setting and the characters. The characters are very different. Except Daru. Daru is basically Keiichi and every other male protagonist in freaking Higurashi. But, except Satoshi. Satoshi was cool. But, yeah. But Steins Gate actually goes through what Okabe went through to give up. Yeah, it's basically if they expanded on the journey that Rika went through. That's big disrespect to Keiichi. Hey, man. Hey, man. he won me over at the end, but during the beginning there... let's not pretend Keiichi didn't have some sus dialogue. nowhere near to the level of Daru, but let's not pretend he was innocent.
和光市のオフィスやホテルだって荒らされたんだ。ヒアジョーさんがずっとマークされていたのは間違いない。
あ、そうだわ。
True, you're right. Maho seemed to suddenly remember something. She took out her smartphone and made a call.
教授に連絡しないと。
今日はどこかに身を隠すと伝えておいた方がいい。教授と合流すると、教授にまで危険が及ぶかもしれない。
Oh, I don't think you were here yesterday for when I was talking about it, Ruben, but I was talking about how, like, something that Steins Gate's always taught me is that if you have a sprite, you serve a significant purpose in the story. Like, there is no such thing as a side character, like a true side character getting a sprite. So I was wondering, like, what, like, major roles, like, Dr. Leskinen and Kaide we're gonna have. Because we've already seen the major role Fubuki plays, but I wonder what Kaide's gonna do. Yeah. Maho nodded. I still remember Keiichi defending by telling those thugs it's better when the girl has it. Oh yeah, dude, that was... Listen, man. Oh my god. Ugh, god. Rintaro took Maho to Ferris Nyan Nyan's home. It was on the top floor of a high-rise building in the center of Akihabara. And what Keiichi did to Shion Miyana Angel Mort? Oh, man. Don't remind me. God. If nothing else, it was just to be more secure than the ancient building that they'd just been in. Let's be honest, Mochi, that was an effective method of distracting those thugs. I'm not debating the effectiveness. He was just trying to tell her the One Piece is real. The One Piece is real. Oh, man. Ferris welcomed the two of them, offering them food and a place to sleep. Daru returned alone to the Future Gadget Lab to meet up with Suzuha.
このノート PC は存在するだけで災いを呼ぶだろう。
Dude, that just gave me whiplash. I like the fact that we're talking to Okabe through someone else's perspective. That just gave me whiplash, Jesus.
手放した方がいい。
Once they'd both calmed down, she started to talk to him about what they were going to do with Karisu's computer. He didn't budge an inch. Usually, he was an introvert who never pushed too hard for anything, but this time he was extremely stubborn. Of course, so was Maho. I will never forget that there always is a way. Who knew Russian porn would be such a weapon?
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
El Psychongru.
It's a K. It's a K on Kongru. Also, dang. Brian can't say Kongru. Unlucky. Thank you for the bits, though, Golden. I really appreciate it. Not according to various websites. And every damn time they say El Psychongru here, it's a K. I don't know what to tell you, man.
せめてロックを解除して中身について確かめたいわ。
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Steins Gate is usually always from Rintaro's perspective, so seeing Rintaro from someone else's perspective is a whiplash. Yeah, man. Did Rintaro even have a sprite in OG Steins Gate? I don't think he did.
今のところそれもできずに手詰まりだけれど。
そんな悠長なことを言っている場合じゃない。今すぐ手放すべきだ。一番いいのはこの場で破壊することだが。
Nah, we only see him from the CG. Yeah, yeah. I think Steins Gate Zeros is the only instance where he actually has a sprite.
破壊するって、これはクリスの形見でもあるのよ。
君はもう少しロジカルな人間だと思ってた。
I think that's a bit of an a-hole way to put it, Rentaro.
私はあなたがそんな冷たい人だとは思わなかった。
Maho's words made him flinch. Something bad had happened to him. That's how it seemed to her. And it was easy to assume that it had something to do with Kurisu. So she decided to ask him what she hadn't gotten to earlier, during the fuss this afternoon. Steins Gate Zero expands on the importance of the other cast, considering he isn't the one moving the plot anymore. That's a good point. That's actually a really good point, Ruben. That's what I think that's why they decided to do the other perspectives in this game. That's actually a really good point.
あなたはクリスの事件について何か隠しているように見えるのだけれど。
俺の知ってることなんてどうでもいいような話だ。
Maho could tell he wasn't going to share. If they hadn't been interrupted this afternoon, would he have told her?
それよりこの PC をどうするかだ。
Okabe is not doing job as the protagonist. Bro said, I give up. Someone else be the protagonist. I quit. He threw the papers at the staff.
これはもう友達の形見なんていう私的なレベルのものじゃない。国家規模での争奪戦を引き起こす代物なんだ。
一体どんな陰謀論よ。
この後に及んで陰謀論だと言い張るのか。君も見ただろう、あの黒服の外国人たちを。君の通うオフィスも寝泊まりしているホテルも荒らされた。クリスの自宅だって放火された。その放火事件の後、君の研究室に FBI を名乗る謎の男たちが調査に来た。前にホテルの駐車場で襲われたことだってもしかしたら関連があるかもしれない。普通なら絶対に遭遇しないような出来事が立て続けに起きている。これは偶然じゃない。
だからって国家規模だなんて。
The whole thing just seemed like too much of a stretch for her. Trying to connect every single event was a trap that conspiracy theorists often fell into. But in fact, most things that happened didn't really mean anything. So yeah, until Halloween Kilmer returns, Okabe is literally just there. True. When she began to tell him that, what he said next surprised her.
事態はこの先、ジョン・タイターの予言通りに進むだろ
う。ジョン・タイター
？Maho had never heard that name before.
10年前にアメリカのネット掲示板に現れた人物だよ。2036年からタイムマシンに乗ってやってきた自称未来人だ。俺はそいつが本物だと知っている。会ったこともある。ジョン・タイターによれば2015年には第三次世界大戦が起きる。その原因はタイムマシンだ。
バカにしているの？
至って真面目だ。中鉢博士のことを知りたがっていたな。 奴はクリスの父親だ。中鉢論文にはクリスが関わっていた可能性がある。
Nah, just, JK's, that's a disservice to him. He's doing what little he can. The fact that he's still there observing the little clues necessary to reach Steins Gate show that he hasn't truly given up. Yeah, and he does help when like, asked to. As long as it doesn't, like, as long as it's not, like, asking him to time travel or anything like that. He is still helping, like, when characters ask him to do things. And that's admirable. That's admirable, I think. Maho had read Dr. Nakabachi's paper out of curiosity. Last summer, he'd proudly announced his paper on time travel to the entire world just before fleeing to Russia. The paper itself, however, was so poorly written that it was of no value whatsoever. She couldn't believe that Kurisu might have been involved in writing it. Oh, this dick. Yeah, no. This guy might very well be the worst character in Steins Gate. Dr. Nakabachi. I hate this mother effer. Like, screw this dude. Although he is... He's tied with Daru. He's tied with Daru. We'll put it that way. He's tied with Daru. She couldn't believe that Kurisu might have been involved in writing it.
Ronbun は劣化版で、もしもクリス自身が書いたオリジナルが存在するとしたら。クリスの残したノート PC とポータブルハードディスク。その中身が実際のところ何なのかは関係ない。ただ、それを手に入れたがっている連中がいるんだ。
ちょっと待って。少し整理させて。
Could what Rentaro was saying be true? Puts Nakabachi in a room alone with Draft. Oh no. She took a moment to think. Normally, she wouldn't give something like this a second thought. But what had been happening around her lately just wasn't normal. She couldn't outright deny it. Besides, she was nursing a conspiracy theory of her own.
私もこの PC が狙われているかもしれないという予感はしていたのよ。ただ、あなたの話は私の予想とはあまりにもかけ離れすぎていて。
予想とは
Damn, he was that petty. It wasn't enough to just steal Kurisu's superior copy. He did his own to make it his own. And even when copying a superior copy, he's still inferior. Why did he not just copy the full thing? That's what I'm thinking, man. Like how did he screw it up that much that it's basically unusable? All you had to do was literally copy paste, man. That's all you had to do. I don't know, like, right? You know what I mean? That's what I've been sitting here thinking. Like,
アマデウスの軍事転用のことじゃないかと考えていたの。
軍事転用？
クリスは精神生理学研究所にもよく出入りしていたんだけど、時々場違いな連中がそこにやってくるって言ってたの。
Psychophysiology lab? One of the labs at Victor Crandre University. While the Brain Science Institute attempts to understand the processes behind thought and memory by examining the systems used by the brain itself, the psychophysiology lab's goals are more medical in nature. They develop new medical treatments by researching the biological and physical effects caused by the mind's workings. The lab's research covers a wide range of areas including perception, recognition, reflexes, learning, sleep, alcohol addiction, and schizophrenia. Just copy, paste, replace Karisu's name with your own, boom. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you just hide Karisu's original paper, it's not like anyone's gonna call you out like, oh, you're copyright. Like, it's... It was like a perfect scheme that you somehow effed up. So that just proves that he's dumb, too. Like...
どうも国防総省の人じゃないかって。
Department of Defense. The United States Department of Defense. It's also known as the Pentagon due to the shape of the building it's located in. It's America's most high-level defense agency, responsible for controlling the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Dang, can't even copy and paste like a normal person. Jesus, man.
アマデウスで人を殺せるのか。どうやって。
例えば百戦錬磨のパイロットから記憶データをコピーして無人戦闘機の制御に使うとか。あと以前話した医療への応用覚えてる？
人間の脳へ記憶データを書き戻すってやつかな。
Man, Okabe's sprite, he looks so effing depressed and dead inside. I mean, it's because he is. That is literally just Steins Gate 0 Okabe. Oh, man. But, yeah, it's interesting how they're bringing up, like, what happens in, like, PR when, like, because that's exactly what they planned to do. They was gonna use Amadeus to, like, create, like, perfect, unfeeling soldiers that would just die for the country without, like, a shred of a care in the world. And also to get the time machine, but, like, you know.
そう。記憶データを修正した上で書き戻しが可能になれば、恐怖を感じない兵士やどんな非道な任務でも平然と遂行する部隊なんていう恐ろしいものまで作れてしまう。
Right. But even that's secondary to, like, just getting the time machine information that they need from Carisu's brain.
私はてっきりクリスがそういった実験の証拠を偶然知ってしまったんじゃないかと思っていたの。
なあ、アマデウスの研究には米軍が関与していたりはしないよな。
What an entrance! Hey, Prince Alan or Prince Darian. I'm not sure which one to call you, or just call you Prince Darian Allen. But welcome back. Good to see you. Have you continued Oshinoko after the first episode? I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie, I forgot. I might watch some more tonight. Hopefully I remember. But I also do have to get to bed early because of the whole surgery thing, so we'll see.
するわけないでしょ。
本当にそう言い切れるか。君はあくまで研究者であってプロジェクトの総責任者じゃない。
レスキネン教授だって軍に関与なんてさせないわ。
だよな。
We're assuming we know everything about Dr. Leskinen, though. After what happened with Dr. Reyes, I'm not sure if I could trust him.
あれは別の世界線の話だし。
世界線？何のこと？
いや、忘れてくれ。俺の考えすぎだと思う。
He hadn't seemed like he'd really meant that, and that really bothered her. She wanted to hear more about John Titor, but he didn't tell her anything else. Since she couldn't crack the security on Carisu's laptop and hard drive, it did Maho no good to carry them. And just like Rintaro said, those attackers scared her. So she decided she had no choice but to give them to him. He didn't tell her whether he was going to destroy them or not. We certainly went back to the happy fun time music fairly fast, Jesus. You read up or watch YouTube vids about the original John Titor? I haven't. I probably should look into that though. I've never even heard about John Titor before Steins Gate is the interesting thing. I never even knew there was a thing. But that'd be pretty interesting to look up the original one, though. When she arrived at their office in Wako City, Dr. Leskinen was already there. He came over and gave her a big hug.
Oh, sumanai. Ha ha ha.
She'd heard that the office had been ransacked, but whatever had happened had already been cleaned up. Steins Gate pulls a lot of references and such from the real world. Yeah, I did notice that, because I know that CERN is like a real thing, but it's not like the evil organization that it is at Steins Gate. It's like an actual like scientific organization, but instead of with an S, it's supposed to be like a C. Yeah, same as me. Steins Gate gave me awareness of that phenomenon. Yeah.
教授が片付けたんですか？
荒らされたと言っても、もともと私と魔法しか使っていなかったわけだし、荷物も多くなかったからね。あとは警察に任せてある。
2 days had passed since the office had been ransacked. Maho had spent both of them Maho had spent both of them at Ferris's home, and only today had she gotten in touch with Dr. Leskinen and gone to Wako City to get her things. They were both going back tomorrow, just as planned. That meant they were saying goodbye to this office.
犯人はまだ捕まっていないんですよね。
ああ。日本に来てから災難続きだな。
ですね。
The two of them looked around the empty office. It'd been a busy 2 months.
魔法はどうだったかな？日本はもう一つの故郷でもあるわけだろう？感想は？
早く大学に戻って研究に打ち込みたいですね。この2ヶ月、資料をまとめてばかりだった気がするので。
I don't know. I would say I would say it's been pretty eventful since you've been here, Ma. I don't know about that.
魔法は真面目だね。
それと、クリスが最後の時間を過ごしたこの国の空気を感じることができたのは良かったです。
魔法。
But she still hadn't figured out why Karisu had died. Actually, she had even more questions now. It bothered her to go home with so many questions left unanswered. If only Rintaro had told her everything he knew.
そういえば。
The thought suddenly occurred to Maho.
アマデウスのテスターの件はどうします？
Of course, she meant Rintaro Okabe. If both Maho and Leskinen were heading back to America, that meant his time as tester was over.
そうだね。
For some reason, the professor was taking a moment to think it over. She wondered what there was to think about.
テストはこのまま続けてもらおうと思っているんだが、どうだろう？
Oh?
え？
え？
本気ですか？
実際、リンタロウと話すことで、クリスはこれまでにないような反応をして見せているだろう。今後は彼だけでなく、もっと多くのテストを使っていきたいとも考えているところだし。
セキュリティの面で不安があるのでは？アメリカと日本だと離れすぎていて、何かトラブルが起きた時に対処できません。
大丈夫さ。私はリンタロウを信じているからね。
いや、信じるとか信じないという話ではなくてですね。
I believe in Rintaro too.
それにテストを継続すれば、魔法だって定期的にリンタロウと連絡を取れるよ。
私は関係ないでしょう。
Oh, you don't?
そうかい？
そうですよ。
では今後のリンタロウとの連絡は私が直接取ることにしよ
う。別に構いませんよ。
It still seemed like he wasn't telling her something, but she was too embarrassed to question him further. It was surprised her, though, that he was so focused on Rintaro. He seemed to have taken a real liking to him ever since they had first met. Did he simply like the guy, or was it because he was Carisu's friend? Or was it something else? Uh-oh. She didn't know. The next day, Maho and Dr. Leskinen returned to America via Narita Airport, just like they'd planned. Rintaro had come to see them off, and he was very surprised when Dr. Leskinen told him he could continue being a tester. And then half a year passed. Oh. That's a big jump. Gehenna's Stigma. Victor Crondry University's grounds were dead quiet. It was after 11 p.m. The time machine should be out of energy then? Yeah, it should, shouldn't it? Because she said I have about half a year or 6 months of fuel left, right? Or the battery, I mean. It was after 11 p.m. Some of the labs worked all night and into the morning, so the place wasn't completely abandoned. But compared to daytime, it was quiet. The lights in the halls were off, and it was a little scary walking down them alone. Maho lived in the researcher's apartments next to the lab. She had been thinking about so many things that night. Her head felt like it was going to explode. And then she looked out the window and realized that the lights were still on in the brain science lab. Dr. Leskinen must have been working late. She decided to put some coffee in a thermos and take it to him.
そもそもなんで私はタイムマシンの研究なんかに没頭しているのかしら。
Ever since she'd come back from Japan in January, she'd spent all her free time on it. Even she had to admit she was getting obsessed. Of course, since this wasn't something she could research in public, and she couldn't let it interfere with her real job, she had to do all of it in her own room at night. As a result, she was staying up late, battling with physics textbooks, an unfamiliar subject to her. Exhaustion and lack of sleep were starting to get to her. The whole idea of a time machine was stupid. She still thought so, but she was surprised at how desperate she was getting.
それもこれも岡部さんのせいよ。
What Okabe had said to her in Japan still stuck with her.
半ば論文にはクリスが関わっていた可能性がある。
Rentaro could have been lying, or wrong, or simply delusional. But part of her wanted to believe it was real. Of course. She'd made it straight black to match the professor's taste. The room was filled with steam and a pleasant smell.
これは驚いた。魔法がカフェをご馳走してくれるとは。
私だってこのくらいの気は利きますよ。
でも君はこういうのが嫌いだっただろう？あれは確か君がこの研究所に来た最初の日だったかな。メリーがみんなにモーニングカフェを配って回っていたら、君はそれを断ってこう言ったじゃないか。あなたはカフェを入れるためにここに勤務しているのですか？
I don't know if that's actually funny.
その時間があったら早く仕事を始めてはどうですとね。いやいや、すごい子が来たものだと驚かされたよ。
そんな古い話、今さら持ち出さなくてもいいじゃないですか。
Maho's cheeks swelled in embarrassment.
あの頃は天才少女とか言われてちょっといい気になってたというか、何もわからない子供だったんです。ちゃんと反省はしています。
Mary was another scientist at the lab. After Maho had apologized, they'd gone on to be friends.
本当に教授は意地悪ですね。もう二度とコーヒーなんて持ってきませんから、そのつもりで。
Oof! Just as she was thinking of taking the coffee she'd poured back.
そうですよ、教授。あんまり先輩をいじめないであげてください。
Oh, pretty soon. She heard a voice from Dr. Liskin's computer.
あら、クリス。
はい、私です。
ちょうど彼女のプログラムの検証中だったんだ。
She moved around to where she could see the monitor, and sure enough, the Kurisu CG model was displayed on it.
こんばんは、先輩。
こんな時間までご苦労様。
Maho chuckled to herself. Kurisu was just a program running on a computer, but she still couldn't stop herself from saying things like that. After all the time they'd spent together, Kurisu was no different than a human to her.
別に私は魔法をいじめてるわけじゃないよ。メアレイとの件だって私は魔法を好ましく思ったものさ。極めて合理的でクールで、しかも面白い子だとね。だから私の助手になってもらったわけだし。もちろん今の優しい君も嫌いじゃないけどね。
Dr. Liskinen gave her a wink as he reached for his coffee cup.
ありがとう。いただくよ。
As he drank his coffee, he grabbed the corners of his eyelids and gave them a little massage. He was acting cheerful, but evidently he was really tired.
プログラムの検証って何をしていたんです？
ああ、今まとめている論文のあれだよ。
アマデウスが嘘をつくメカニズムですか？
その部分のプログラムが解析できると、人間が嘘をつく仕組みももっと詳しくわかるんだがね。
女性の嘘は時に重大な秘密を含んでいます。それを暴こうというのは感心しません。
Kurisu's expression was deadly serious.
何も君の嘘を暴こうって言うんじゃない。嘘をつく時の思考の過程を知りたいだけだよ。
まあいいです。 何か暴露する羽目になったら、まず真帆先輩が隠してる甘い秘密を喋ることにしますから。
ちょっとおかしなことを言わないでちょうだい。っていうか、甘い秘密って何？
なんでしょうね。
She played dumb. Sometimes Karisu liked to joke around. It was infuriating, and at the same time, kinda cute.
例えばゲームセンターで彼に取ってもらったぬいぐるみの件、私が気づいていないとでも。
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
は？
The first thing she thought of when she heard the word arcade was what happened back in Akihabara, Japan. She tried so many times to get the stuffed animal and failed each time. Rentaro had won it easily and given it to her.
あれが何？
ずっと先輩のベッドに置いてあるんですよね。
何をバカなことを言っているの？あれはクリスのお母さんへのお土産よ。
Oh, so why is it still on your bed, huh? Hmm?
じゃあなんで先輩の部屋に？
だってお母さんは新しい家をまだ探してるって言うし、それまでは仮のアパートメント住まいだし、引っ越しの時の荷物になったらあれかなと思って。
So why is it on your bed?
本当ですか？
ほんとよ。だいたいあのぬいぐるみは私にとってもクリスの大事な思い出なんですもの。抱いて寝るのがそんなにおかしい？
やっぱり先輩のベッドにあるんですね、あれ。しかも抱いて寝てるなんてとってもキュート。そのあたりもっと詳しく教えてください。
Got her. That stupid computer program had tricked her. By the time she realized it, it was already too late. Both Karisu and Dr. Leskinen, who had been listening the whole time, were smiling at her. She glared at them, her cheeks flushed.
これはどうやらクリスの勝ちのようだね。
勝ち負けとか関係ありません。もう私は寝ます。おやすみなさい。
She turned to leave Dr. Leskinen's office, fuming. But before she could leave, Karisu got in one final parting shot.
先輩、もう1週間も岡部と連絡取ってませんよ。忙しいからといって連絡をおろそかにしていると後で後悔しちゃいますからね。
あのね、どうしてもあなたは私と岡部さんをくっつけたいの？
Maho stormed over to the monitor, but Kurisu seemed unconcerned.
たまには直接会ってみたいなって思ったりしませんか？
思いません。
I wonder.
そうか、残念だな。
For some reason, Dr. Leskinen shook his head sadly.
近々また共同研究で日本に呼ばれているんだ。その時、レンタロウに連絡を取ってみようと思っているんだ。魔法も一緒に連れて行こうかどうか悩んでいたんだが、これはやめた方が良さそうだね。
These two are so evil, man. She'd heard nothing about this. Most of the time, whenever the professor had a project coming up, she'd hear about it through the school's network ahead of time.
日本へまた行くんですか？
うん。
She had to stop herself from immediately saying that she wanted to go too. If she did, Dr. Luskin and Karisu would make fun of her again. But she didn't want to miss the chance. There was still a lot she needed to do in Japan. More than anything, she wanted to talk to Rintaro in person about the time machine and about Karisu. It definitely was not because she just liked talking to him.
ぜひ私も連れて行ってください。
You mean Lindalo. I'll be right back. Hold on. Alright. That should be the last time I have to go somewhere. Jesus Christ. Well, I gotta go. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stream. All the best for the surgery, Mochi. I know it ain't that big, but still, yeah. No problem. Thank you so much. I'd like to get the 8-bit... I'd like to get the 8-bit Steins Gate thing without having to shell out for the Switch version of Steins Gate Elite. I already have it on PS. Oh, nice. That's... the 8... I didn't even know there was an 8-bit version. That actually sounds really cool. In the end, she gave in.
Oh, ついに素直になったんだね。
では告白プランを考えましょう。
あなたたちね。
Maho was starting to get tired of dealing with them.
ま、冗談はさておき。君を連れて行けるかどうかは微妙なところなんだ。
というと？
君は日本でいろいろな事件に巻き込まれたろう。脳科学研究所としてはそのことをかなり気にしていてね。
そんな。
クリスの件もあったし、 優秀な人材をこれ以上危険な目に遭わせるわけにいけないというのが理事たちの考えなんだよ。
私なら大丈夫です。現にこうして無事でいるじゃないですか。
ほう。つまり魔法はそこまでして日本にいるリンタロウに会いたいと。
いい加減セクハラになりますよ。
おう、sorry は勘弁してくれ。
でも本気で交際を検討してみては。
Jesus Christ. Y'all gotta drop that. Y'all gotta drop that.
将来的には岡部もこっちに来る可能性があるんでしょ。だったら今のうちに唾をつけておくべきですって。
Jesus Christ.
おせっかいな親戚のおばさんみたいなことを言うのはやめなさい。
魔法の考えは理解したよ。私からも理事に話をしてみよう。ただし、だからといって日本に行けるという保証はできないからね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
私は結構本気なんですけどね。
まだ言っているの？まったく。
It really felt like she was talking to Karisu. The feeling was much stronger than when they'd first started on Amadeus. And that reminded her of something she'd almost done many times but stopped.
このクリスにタイムマシンのことを相談してみたらどうだろう。
She didn't know if Karisu had completed the time machine theory before her death. But if she had, some clues to it might be hidden in Karisu's memories. Of course, she couldn't ask her in front of Dr. Leskinen, and she couldn't let others hear that she was making a time machine. If the rest of the lab found out, they'd make fun of her for sure. It wasn't even her field of research to begin with.
それじゃあ教授、そろそろ部屋に戻って寝ます。
The 8-bit Steins Gate is said to be an emulated NES ROM despite only being on the Switch? Really? That's interesting. I have a Switch, so I might have to check that out. Although I don't know how much it is. That might be a big deciding factor. 64. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maho took her thermos and was about to leave the lab.
あ、ちょっと待った。最近魔法の記憶データを全く更新していないだろう？
But it's for Steins Gate Elite? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about Steins Gate Elite, but I've heard that it's basically just like, it's just the original visual novel, but there's like a lot more stuff from the anime in there. I almost said anime, wow. Anime in there. I'm not entirely sure, though.
アムデウスの魔法のことだよ。
ああ、
日本に行く前に採取したデータが最後じゃないか？
それはですね。
It's pretty much taking the full original and animating every scene. Oh, okay. It's the OG, but with the animations from the anime. Comparatively, content was cut as opposed to added. I see, I see. Maho didn't know what to say. He was right.
日本ではいろいろと怖い体験をしましたし、アマデウスに悪い記憶を残すこともないかなと。
Also, hey, Morse.
気持ちはわかるが、このままだと比較実験ができない。
A comparison trial involved loading memories from both before and after a given experience into Amadeus, and seeing how it changed. These trials allowed them to see what effects experiences and knowledges had on the brain, but after Karisu's passing, they became solely Maho's responsibility.
今の君と エムデウスの魔法とではあまりにも記憶が食い違いすぎていて、別人と言ってもいいほどになってしまっている。
Unlike Chaos Head, Noah, and Robotics Notes Elite, which were actual improvements from the original versions. That's interesting. You'd think they'd do the same with Steins Gate Elite, but... Huh.
はい、そうですね。
このままだと君をこのプロジェクトから外して他の誰かに頼まなくてはならないかもしれないよ。
それは。
Her expression darkened.
クリスばかり相手にしていないで、たまには自分も構ってあげなさい。きっと寂しがっている。明日必ず記憶の更新をしておくように。いいね。
わかりました。
Maho nodded her head and left the room. The reason she'd given to Dr. Leskinen for not updating Maho's memories was a real concern, but there was also another one. Rintaro's words.
なあ、アマデウスの研究には米軍が関与していたりはしないよな。
She had no proof, but she couldn't get his words out of her mind. Some great power involved in the Amadeus research? Something so powerful it was outside even Dr. Leskinen's control. If she updated her memory data, Maho would learn about Carisi's laptop and hard disk. She trusted Amadeus, but that'd mean whoever was secretly trying to use the project for their own ends would find out. It seemed silly, almost delusional, to be worried about something like that. But she couldn't get it out of her mind ever since she'd come back to America.
でもやっぱり考えすぎよね。
She whispered to herself.
誰かそこにいるの？
Uh-oh. She heard a woman's voice from down the dark hallway. Maho stopped dead in her tracks. The hallway lights flicked on, and she saw a group of men and women calling down the corridor that connected her building to the next one. The next building over was the psychophysiology lab. Maho's brain science lab mostly investigated the workings of the brain itself. The psychophysiology lab, on the other hand, was more of a medical department. They looked at how the workings of the brain affected mental states and mental illnesses.
すみません、冷や城真帆です。レスキネン教授の研究室の。
The woman at the head of the group was someone she knew, Dr. Reyes. Yup. The one that we know is now a sussy baka. It was Dr. Reyes, a scientist at the psychophysiology lab.
あら、真帆だったの。
レイエス教授、こんな時間にお仕事ですか？
あなたも？
ええ、まあ。
お互いに仕事中毒だわね。
Judy Reyes's eyes narrowed beneath her glasses as she laughed.
アレクシスは？まだ自分のオフィスよね。
That was the first time I've heard someone refer to him as Alexis.
はい、アマデウスの研究を。
ほんとご就寝ね。自分の娘と勘違いしてるんじゃないかしら。
こんな時間にレスキネン教授にお会いになるんですか？もし緊急でのミーティングなら私も。
その必要はないわ。私の研究に少し問題があってね。至急彼の知恵を借りたいのよ。 あなたがいても特に頼めることはないでしょうし。あ、気を悪くしないでね。でもありがとう。
I don't trust. Well, no, duh, Golden. She's a villain. Well, Dr. Reyes kept smiling as she walked past Maho towards the lab. The other scientists followed her.
研究に問題って一体何だろう。
She wants him and Kurisu. She took a closer look and saw that she didn't recognize one of the people in the group. Scientist equals good squad. She's a proven psycho. She needs treatment from her own department. Yep. It was hard to say why exactly she noticed him. He just didn't look like a scientist. When you spend enough time doing research, you start to get a feel for people who are in the same line of work. But he had a totally different air about him. And what was worse, he was behaving extremely rudely towards Dr. Reyes. Jesus. If he was one of her staff, he wouldn't act like that. And while everyone else was wearing white lab coats, he was wearing a freshly pressed suit. It just didn't feel right. She was about to head back to her room when... It bothered her enough that she turned right back around and silently crept back to Dr. Leskinen's lab. The door was slightly ajar. She could hear voices inside. She knew it was wrong, but she decided to push her face up against the door to listen.
いつまで泳がせておくつもり？
Oh?
貴重な情報源だ。下手に動いて破棄でもされたらもったいないだろう。
I think that confirms the Leskinen sus. The sussy Leskinen. You sussy baka.
いずれにせよ今月中に日本に立つ。そこで回収するつもりさ。
Look at the furrowed eyebrows. Those are you only see those on evil people. You sussy baka Leskinen.
なぜ半年近くも様子を見たのか、納得のいく説明ができるのかしら。
And no one was surprised.
彼らは我々が知っていること以上の何かを隠しているような気がしてね。
And notice how his Japanese suddenly got a whole lot better.
そこでアマデウスを使って聞き出そうとしたんだが、かなり警戒心が強い慎重な青年だよ、リンターロ・岡部は。
You still can't say Rentaro, but yeah.
真帆にお得意の施術でもしてあげたら？
彼女は何も知らないと思うがね。
Maho started to panic when she heard her name. Quiet! And then, she realized she made a big mistake. She was so focused on listening to the conversation that she pressed her shoulder into the door. Maho, you man! Well, she had him fooled. Come on, Maho! The door to the lab wasn't very well built. There was a loud creak, and everyone in the lab turned around.
誰？
Uh-oh. She knew she should probably run, but her body refused to move. And thus, everything goes further downhill. She couldn't understand what she was hearing. Even after they found her, she still couldn't move. Uh-oh. She couldn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. This was worse than being in a thriller, she thought. The other scientists who were with Dr. Reyes grabbed her arms tightly and dragged her into the room.
教授、今の話は一体。
Dr. Liskinen looked a little sad as he walked over to her. His huge body leaned forward and peered into her face.
やれやれ、来てしまったんだね。まあ、ちょうどいい。魔法、さっきの日本行きの話だけどね。やはり君にも一緒に来てもらおう。
She didn't know what he meant. Weren't the directors opposed to it? Was it something Dr. Leskinen could decide on his own? What was good timing? Confused, she glanced over at the computer screen. But Karisu was no longer there. The one thing she knew was... Okabe's words weren't the ramblings of a conspiracy theorist after all. So Dr. Leskinen's been in on it the whole time. Jesus Christ, that date change. Well, it has been 6 months to be fair, but... Yeah, unfortunately I do gotta end it there for today. I gotta get a good amount of sleep for, the surgery, yeah. God, my head was not... my head was not processing that. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and end it there for today. Thank y'all for coming. Unfortunately, this may be the last stream for a good bit. Don't worry, this is getting reasonably close. Okay, good. This may be the last stream for a bit. Oh. Should we just keep going then? If the ending's not too far, maybe we should just keep going. Problem is, I don't remember. Okay, well, we'll leave it off for next time, just in case. But yeah, this may be the last stream for a little while, depending on how I'm able to move after the surgery. Like my main issue is if I'm gonna be able to move to and from the like seat where I stream. That's gonna be the main problem. If I'm able to do that fairly easily, then there'll be no problem and streams will go on like usual. But if not, it may be like a bit of a small hiatus before I start streaming again. I don't know yet. We'll have to see tomorrow after the surgery ends, but I do know that I love you guys. I'll see you the next time I'm able to. And yeah, that'll be it for me today. El Sai Kongru.